Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sasha. Today we are doing a book review of Bringing Down the Duke by Evie Dunmore. I originally had a NetGalley arc of this book, so thank you so much to NetGalley for providing that arc in exchange for an honest review. I did get that e-copy in 2019, so this review is just, a few years late, but I'm doing a new reading challenge for myself where I try and read all of my overdue NetGalley books this year. For this to be the first one I picked up was like the best thing I could have done because I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. It was written exactly the way I would have written it if I was writing these characters in this time period with all of the things going on. Evie Dunmore is now a must-read author. There are two other books from this sort of series that will follow two different characters and then two other different characters in each novel at my library that I'm going to have to pick up at some point because I cannot express how much I love this story. So we follow a countrywoman, Annabelle, who doesn't have any money to her name. Her father passed away, so now her cousin, who is hopeless, is in charge of their estate. But she does get accepted into Oxford when the women's college finally opens there, and she begins attending classes and joins the suffragette movement. Also over there is Duke Montgomery, also known to very few as Sebastian. Circumstances align so that Annabelle and Sebastian end up literally running into each other and then being invited to his estate to try and proposition him to join their cause because he has the Queen's ear. He is sort of the head of a political party at this point in time, and so he is the perfect person for her and the other women from the Oxford College to try and get on their side so women can be given, is it the vote they're trying to get or is it property? I think they're trying to keep property, is what I can remember. I've just done a library haul where I read synopsis of like 6 or 7 other books, and I'm mixing up something else. So can't quite remember, but that's honestly you'll get it as soon as you start reading it. This is definitely a slow burn. The chemistry is there between them from the very beginning, but they don't act on it right away. They definitely butt heads a lot in the beginning because they are equals of sort of the opposite but same coin, obviously. He grew up with a ton of privilege just because of who his ancestors are. She has grown up as a scholar but a woman, so that is definitely frowned upon, not looked to as like a good thing in society, and she doesn't have any money to her name. So there is no way that they would be able to make a relationship work together. Her only sort of option would be to become his mistress while he marries a noblewoman, which, I don't know, doesn't sound the best. I loved this story. I just had such a good time reading it. There was not a single point where I was bored or I was wishing it would heat up or wishing we wouldn't talk so much about school or the political climate or all these other sort of superficial plot elements. Everything fit so perfectly together. I also think fans of Bridgerton and Pride and Prejudice will fall head over heels, not just for the story, but for the characters involved as well. I don't know when the Bridgerton books were written, but I know that this came out before it became popular on TV. So I will say I do think this was a little bit ahead of its time in terms of getting like a Bridgerton fandom interested in this because this would be perfect if you're a fan of Bridgerton. It's same vein, same sort of plot. You would enjoy this immensely. Another thing I really liked about this story were the secondary and tertiary relationships. It was a great reminder as just a reader of romance in general that those relationships and those boundaries are healthy and important, And just because you have a love interest doesn't mean that they should be your entire life. You should still have hobbies, you should still have friends, you should still have your family. And Montgomery has his brother who is to become his heir, and there are a lot of conflicts going on between the two, and watching them sort of try and work through that and the brotherly love and affection between them was really, really interesting, especially because there is such a big age gap. Not only is there an age gap, but Duke Montgomery has so much responsibility and is such a full fledged adult, and his brother is just turned 18, drunk all the time, partying, college life, like, does not want anything to do with what will become his future if his brother doesn't have any children. And then we have Annabelle, who is meeting all of these women who are part of her political campaign with her, and they're of all different stations and all different walks of life. And it was really great to watch them learning to trust each other, accept each other, and just come together for one singular cause. The writing in this was just so effortless. Everything flowed together so well. There were so many of my favorite sort of tropes that happened throughout, and these will just be very, very minor spoilers. But, like, one of them is she doesn't know how to ride a horse, and for whatever reason, she needs to be on a horse, and he has to ride with her. That is one of my favorite things to read in either fantasy or historical romance ever. Another one is she ends up getting stuck in his estate for much longer than she planned, and because of that, she ends up getting invited to all of these parties he's hosting. Because if she's living there, she kind of has to attend. It's the only polite and proper thing to do. You can't just pretend she's not there. And then they also have a turnabout in the maze together, and there's just so many amazing moments that these characters get to experience and we get to experience with them. And I just absolutely loved this story. Hopefully, I've convinced you to give Bringing Down the Duke a try. At the very least, just know that I had a great time, and hopefully, if you give it a try, you will have a great time too. This is definitely more of an adult romance novel. In terms of spicy levels, it's not like a Chantal Tessier. It's not gonna be wild and crazy. The spicy scenes are definitely towards the end of the book, with just sort of hints of it. Like I said, it's a bit of a slow burn, but I think it was that much more exciting and flustering when it actually developed, because we were really watching these characters fight their attraction to each other for most of the story. I am always more eloquent when I am writing my reviews, so please make sure you check out my written review if you really want an in-depth, analytical, critical, just, you know, clearly can't think of a word, review of the book, because when I talk, I can't always think of words right off the top of my head. So it's not as good as when I write it out. But I do my best, because I know that not everyone who is here watching YouTube videos likes to read reviews, and vice versa. Not everyone who likes to read reviews likes to watch videos. So I'm trying to put all my book content on all different platforms so it can reach the most people and we can all have such a good time reading together. This was 5 out of 5 stars for me. Also, perfect floppy book. I don't know if it's because it's a well-loved book things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope if you pick up this book, or if you've already read it and you love it, you have a great time with the story and the characters. I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks for watching. Bye!